So I got the first of many submissions that I'm going to be doing here this month back from CGC. The new pricing structure came out, and I decided just to do a whole bunch of different forms for the 20 or 30 books I had in the queue, and just go ahead and rapid fire send them before next month. That way, you know, I can avoid paying all those extra fees, whatever they may be, and probably save me $100-200 or whatever, which is worth it in my opinion. So I went ahead and did that. And the first ones came back. So let's dig into this thing. I think I know which one this is. And yeah, let's go ahead and get it unboxed and get started. All right, so I've got these in no particular order. And just in case you haven't been following the channel, what I'm doing this year is I'm developing a grading tool. It's an Excel sheet right now. I may turn it into an app eventually, but for now, you know, I'm just developing using Google Sheets, basically something very simple. But what I'm doing is I'm submitting a bunch of books this year, and I'm testing it so I can improve it, and then eventually, you know, turn it into an app for people to be able to ballpark their grades more accurately. So if you want more information on that, just go in the description below, and you can find out where you can pick it up for free and use it at your leisure. You'll need to make a copy of it, you know, out of Google Sheets, and then you can use it however you want. And so, yeah, first book is number 363, Amazing Spider-Man. Classic cover. It's come down in value just as a bunch of books have over the last couple years, but I only paid $12 for this one. My grading tool says this is a 9.2. So generally the way my grading tool works is it's a ballpark grade. If my tool says 9.2, I'm expecting between a 9.0 and a 9.4. I'm not trying to be precise, although I think the way I want to have it set up is more often than not, it would be that 9.2, with maybe 25% of the time being a grade higher, a grade lower, or something like that. Of course, there's outliers. So we can, you know, grading is subjective. I mean, it's an opinion. So, you know, we're just trying to get close to what CGC is doing, and that's just kind of the goal, to be more accurate more often. So let's see what CGC thinks of this 363. Do they agree with my 9.2, or did the grader think something else? Let's take a look. Wow, okay. We were wrong. Wrong in a good way. So this grader apparently was having a very good day because, you know, I've noticed the trend so far is that my grading tool has been quite a bit more conservative than CGC. So I already know that I probably can loosen it up a little bit, but I'm going to wait till I have all the books in this year before I do that. I don't want to tweak it now, get more books back, and I just want to kind of have a clean sample of 150, maybe even some books from last year, a couple hundred books. That way when I do make the adjustments, it's one time, then we do another batch, and we keep improving it over time. It's really easy though. I mean, this is not, I actually had my 11-year-old use the tool for the first time that knows nothing about comic books, and she was getting pretty close. She was like, we were doing some books just online, and I was like asking her questions like, does this look like a moderate damage or extreme damage or whatever? And she was saying, well, that looks moderate to me. And then I would plug it into the tool, and she was within, if it said 8.0, she was 7.5, 8.5, and sometimes right on the money. So anybody can use this thing. Anyways, I won't belabor the point. I'm excited about it though, and I want to help the community, and that's how I'm giving back this year, is by developing this for people out there. So yeah, happy with the 9.6, obviously, white pages. And yeah, that's a good start. So the second book I have is one I feature a lot on this channel. It's just early McFarlane. Something about this book, I just love it. So I pick it up whenever I see it for a good price. I got it for 30 bucks, which is a little bit more than I usually pay for this. And it has a tiny little stain on it somewhere, I forget where, and I think it could hold it back. So it's a good test for my grading tool. You know, how does it work with stains? So I thought this was a 9.0. So I'm fully expecting to get somewhere between 8.5 and 9.2. What does CGC think? Okay, 8.5, that's in the range. I'm sure that stain is the reason we got the 8.5. And if there are any grader notes, I'll put that on the screen. But very happy to have the 8.5. And yeah, we're one up, one down, but this one's certainly within the range we expected. And the 9.6 was a bump above the maximum we were expecting. So far so good. And next one is Web of Spider-Man 97. This is the newsstand edition, a little bit more rare. This is 1993, so newsstands were starting to wane at this time. There weren't nearly as many. So getting ultra high grades on any book from the early 90s newsstand is you know, it's harder to find them. And this is the first appearance of Dr. Kevin Trench, Night Watch. So yeah, I thought this book, by the way, I paid $15. I thought it was a 9.4. So we're looking to see if this book is a 9.4. Okay, 9.6. That's even better. So if we're going to be on one side or the other, let's be on the high side. So very happy to have this newsstand and a 9.6. 9.8 is, you know, I normally wouldn't submit a book like this, but I'm submitting just a wide range of books. I've even got some mid-grade books. I've already done some lower grade books, Silver Age stuff. So the next one is another one of my favorite covers, 328, and you know, the gut punch, I guess is what you call this. Some people call it something else, but yeah, direct copy, classic cover, last McFarlane art on Amazing Spider-Man. It's kind of the significance of this book. I paid $14. I thought this was a 9.6 after I got done cleaning and pressing it. So I'm expecting 9.4, maybe even a chance at 9.8. Let's see what CGC thinks. Okay, we got right on the money, exactly what we expected. 9.6 is a very strong grade on this book. Not a huge amount of value. I'm not making money really on these books. But we'll certainly be glad to have a 9.6 copy of this McFarlane. I've already got a couple 9.8s of that book, but that, I mean, my tool was spot on with it that time, so that's good. So, yeah, number 307, Amazing Spider-Man. Chameleon obviously on the cover. This black cover. The back's got some white on it, but to get a high grade on this book is very difficult. Because any kind of flaws will break color, and darker books are just very, very hard to get that 9.6, 9.8 on. That being said, I overpaid for this one a little bit. I think I paid I've got $40 listed here, which is more than I would normally pay, but obviously I thought it had a chance at 9.8 or I wouldn't have paid that. But my grading tool thinks it's a 9.6. So I don't know what the break-even point. Good chance I lose money on this book. No big deal, right? But getting the 9.8 on a book that's hard to get a 9.8 is worth the gamble sometimes. So let's see what CGC thinks. Do they agree with my 9.6 assessment? Wow, okay. That is cool. That is really, really cool. I love it. Yeah, 9.8 on this book is very, very hard to do. That's going to have some value. And yeah, I'm very, very happy about being wrong on that one. I'll take the 9.8, but you can see the trend. My tool's usually like a step lower, but it's really the average of all the books that really matters. Is like, what is my average grade? What is the tool's average grade? And if it's like 0.1, 0.2 higher, I know exactly how I can recalibrate it. But I got to have a sample. So that's what this year is getting as big of a sample as I can. Good news is, while I'm doing that, I'm improving my cleaning and pressing process, hopefully. So, I mean, kind of a dual benefit this year. So yeah, the last one. Oh, I almost saw the grade. The sticker tried to fall off on it. Don't want that to happen. I did see a 9, but I think that's, you know, we're expecting 9 something, right? So this is number 303, Amazing Spider-Man. Paid about $40 for this one, a little bit too much again. Actually about 38 is what I have down. And I had it again as a 9.6. Once again, a very difficult book. Now, my goal right now is I'm trying to get the entire McFarlane run on Amazing Spider-Man in a 9.8. So there's some tough ones in that batch. I mean, 316, 300. I mean, these are expensive books. 301 to get 9.8. So it's not going to be an easy task. I've got quite a few of them already. Maybe I'll do a video on my Amazing Spider-Man collection with the McFarlane stuff. But to get this one, that's clicking a huge box off, because that one is difficult. And I'm not going to pay the 9.8 prices. I'm going to get raw or crack a slab and try to upgrade. But this one would be another huge box to tick off if I did happen to get that 9.8. So this is the nicest book in this entire batch. But what does CGC think? Because that's really what matters, right? Can we finish strong? Yes! Nice. Okay. Yeah. So to hit these two Amazing Spider-Man books as a 9.8, these, I don't have these in a 9.8, so these are PC books. Very, very, very cool. This is a great submission. I am tickled to death, whatever my mother used to say. about getting all of these books with the grades I expected, first of all, and mostly on the higher side than I expected. So yeah, not much else to say. I'm going to keep doing this. Expect a lot of unboxings coming up. I've got 5 submissions right now. I'm about to submit another one probably in 2 days. Then I got an economy submission. Then I have an express submission coming up with some pretty big books. So look forward to that. So over the next 6 to 8 to 12 weeks, I'll be doing a lot of these unboxings, and we'll be learning a lot together about getting better, improving our process for cleaning and pressing, submitting books to CGC, and just collecting in general and just having fun and being a big nerd. And with that, try to stay nerdy. That's what I'm going to try to do. And we will see you in the next video.